Today, we have a highly requested video to say the least. I'm going to be looking over Heinrich Haarberg's film from 2023, the good, the bad, and everything else in between. And I'm going to discuss how it could impact the 2024 season and his improvement. So really quick, before we dive into this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you're starting to get excited about the season, I know I am. And hey, if you're new to the channel or just a returning viewer, make sure to subscribe. I post a video talking Husker football every single day, and I'm not stopping anytime soon, so please hit that subscribe button and join the family. But without further ado, let's get into it, looking over Heinrich Haarberg's film and his future with the Huskers. All right, let's start it off with Heinrich Haarberg's first start against a Power 5 opponent versus Illinois Friday Night Light, and let's get this thing rolling. So first play, shotgun, first progression, way underthrown, but look at that adjustment by Marcus Washington to get back to that football. That deserves a second look. Yeah, great catch. And that was a horrific ball by Heinrich Haarberg. Again, good read there, but just a bad execution. But Marcus Washington, underrated receiver for the Huskers, comes down with the catch. Another quick drop back. Second progression here with Fedoni. Didn't find him in stride, but good job to put it up high. And that's just something you're going to see a lot of throughout this film reaction with Heinrich Haarberg. Again, backpedaling. Nice job to sense the pressure, go a little bit to the left here, but just overthrows this football. Honestly, not a great read in general. He was locked up. Should have thrown that one away or honestly scrambled to the left-hand side. So I'll give that one a second look here. A little bit of a play action. Honestly, sidearm that football, but once again, was not very accurate. Play action. First progression wasn't there. Second progression wasn't there. Scrambles and, yeah, just throws it away. Good decision. So right off the bat, nothing too flashy here from Heinrich Haarberg. He's only thrown one ball down the field. That was to Marcus Washington. A lot of these checkdowns, that's fine, but we'll see if he makes any mistakes. So here, batted down at the line of scrimmage. That's been a concern with him not only last year, but we've seen that in fall camp so far, that a lot of balls are getting batted down. For a guy who's listed at 6'5", that shouldn't be a huge issue, but it has been. First progression wasn't there. Good job to sense the pressure. Once again, that was a really good completion by Haarberg. That was really phenomenal. Step back's about 10 yards down the field. Yeah, I mean, he had him. And this is something that was just a common theme throughout 2023 is he has a man open down the field. The arm gets the best of him, overthrows him by about 5. And he had him in stride too. Man. And this one I think this was the exact same drive. He didn't want to overthrow him, so he completely underthrew this football. Luckily, again, good adjustment to come down with it. But just a lot of everything here. And yeah, a little dump off Billy Kemp with a nice run after the catch. And by the way, this was Heinrich Haarberg's best game by far for the Huskers in 2023. So I thought it was fitting that we start off with it. And he's played pretty clean so far. That was a tough progression. Was not accurate at all. Once again, you just see a lot of these one readers, right? Where again, he basically has a pre-snap read, pre-snap progression where, okay, this is the guy I'm going to go to if this is the look I see on defense. And he, unfortunately, right here, he was certain that he was going to go, looks like, to Thomas Fedoni, despite what the defense showed him. And that one, honestly, should have got picked off. So not great by Haarberg. And this is the thing that I talk about all the time, is that he struggles with not only, overthrowing these footballs, but it's a lot of the intangibles. It's a lot of the progression, speed of the game, learning not only the playbook, but learning Big Ten defenses and how to read that. So we'll have to see how he gets better throughout the season. Again, by design, little bootleg right. Good job to find Fedoni. One thing I just hate about Haarberg, he has that tendency to sidearm that football. Again, he has a baseball background. Again, a lot of times it's not accurate from him. He doesn't need to do that with his arm strength. Again, just another ball where there is no need for Haarberg to throw this up so high. Right? He's trying to bowl it in there. Why are you throwing it up that high? There's nobody on him. And once again, it hits the fingertips and almost gets picked off. I think that Haarberg threw a pick in this game. I'm not sure if it has it in this compilation. And there it is. there it is. To end things off, Heinrich Haarberg's interception. We'll give that one more look here. This is just a poor throw. And he shouldn't have thrown this football. Once again, double coverage. Looked like, it was cover 2. Man cover 2. And it just goes up. The defensive back makes a great play. And, honestly, despite that interception, that was Haarberg's best game. Let's take it to the Northwestern game next and see if it's any better. All right, the Huskers are now at home against Northwestern. Let's get this rolling, game number 2. And first play from scrimmage, Heinrich Haarberg with an interception. I remember this one clear as day. I was at that game in the north end zone. And again, just another one where he thought he was going to throw to Fidone the entire way. He should not have thrown this football, and not only should he not have thrown it, it was completely inaccurate. Easy pick. Again, it's just, what are you seeing here? And he did have him open, honestly, but once again, just an awful throw. He's trying to sidearm that football. And this is another thing about Haarberg is that his form, his throwing technique is all off. Look at the way he throws this football. Okay, you do not see Big Ten quarterbacks come through, flick the wrist like that. Again, it's more, you have to throw it naturally. It's something that it's always been a pet peeve about Heinrich Haarberg is that he throws the ball so awkwardly. And this one was just, this is not a Big Ten throw. That's not even a deep Division I throw. That's awful. So not a good start for Haarberg. He throws an interception on the first play. Second play, once again trying to find his favorite target, Fidone, and just throws a complete hospital pass. Again, look at this. Fidone's running a little bit of a slant. Linebacker right here, defensive back right here, linebacker right here. Best case scenario, Fidone catches this, but he's getting blown up one way or another. Again, quarterbacks are instructed not to throw this football. He throws it. Fidone not only doesn't catch it because he's inaccurate, but he gets blown up. Yeah, this game had a rocky start for the Huskers, to say the least. Just another one. Another inaccurate football. So we've already seen 2 picks in the first quarter from Haarberg. People forget about this, how shaky he started off this ball game. Once again, trying to find his favorite target, Thomas Fidone. He was open and just way wide to the right, hits his fingertips, pops out, interception. And part of it is an accuracy issue. We know he has the arm strength, but the accuracy is just so suspect. And he's trying to bullet these balls in there. When a receiver is 5-10 yards down the field, you don't need to throw full power. Right? That's hard to catch. This one was, again, I'm not sure if they called this, but man, you have to have some situational awareness from Haarberg. Again, he's trying to make something happen. He understands his third down, doesn't necessarily want to run it. But right now, man, you are clearly 1.5 yards down the field, and you still try to fit this ball in. But I respect it because he kept that play alive. Now you just got to know where you are on the field. All right, hopefully it gets better from here. Once again, just trying to bullet that ball in there. That was just a pure drop, though. First progression wasn't there. Pocket breaks down. Rolling to the right. We've seen this one before. Sidearms it. And honestly, nice completion there. Good job. But just notice how many checkdowns there are when Heinrich Haarberg's in the game. And this is something I've talked about all offseason, is that Matt Rhule and Marcus Satterfield, they specifically shorten the playbook to basically minimize his weaknesses. They understand Heinrich Haarberg, he is not accurate throwing the ball 15 yards down the field. So we're just going to be purely a check down offense, and we're going to run the football down your throat and see what happens. So a lot of these throws, once again, are not too far down the field unless it's a trick play or something like this where a guy is, well, that was just a horrific read. Oh my gosh. We'll have to go back to this one. Hold on. So right when I was talking about Heinrich Haarberg not throwing the ball down the field, he throws the ball down the field on third down and 12. So he's trying to make something happen. But you just got to wonder, what is he doing here? Because, number one, there's not a guy open. You underthrow that football significantly. That's an impossible catch. He can't make that play. So, man, respect to Jaden Doss, dude. He might have caught that. Guys, and this is what I've talked about all offseason. Like, people act like Heinrich Haarberg was a winning quarterback. We won football games because of our defense. Look at this. Look at this throw. He has a man wide open here. Nobody within 5 yards of him. He's throwing on the run. He underthrows it by about 5 yards. It's incomplete. It's unbelievable. It's Power 5 quarterbacks don't do that. Okay? FCS quarterbacks don't do that. This is a basic throw. He's just throwing a lot in coverage, right? Like, there's just another ball that's batted down. That was an outstanding play by the defensive line. I'll give him that. Love this. The option pass always works. Does it work here? Yes, it does. And Malachi Coleman, touchdown. I remember that one well. I will say that's the only sad thing about last year's offense is that we will no longer be able to use that option pass because we're not an option offense anymore. We got Dylan Raiola, and that's perfectly okay. All right, so that was Heinrich Haarberg's performance against Northwestern. I got one more for you against Maryland, and then we're going to get into his spring game performance. All right, last one we're going to look over from last season. This one is against Maryland. All right, let's jump in. So once again, pocket breaks down. Again, just a lot of times we saw that from Haarberg. There hasn't been too many clips of this, but it did happen a lot throughout last year. Is that pocket breaks down, he just instantly runs. There was nothing there. This is a scenario where you throw the ball away. So bad rep there from Heinrich. And once again, I want to address this. There might be people who come in my comment section and say, Wilson, you only picked clips that were bad. No, this is just chopped up footage from the entire game, right? Like I'm not chopping up the good clips. I'm not chopping up the bad clips. This is just pure film. Again, it's just, I understand there's pressure here, but even if there's a guy in your face, you're trying to side on this football, this should still be accurate. That is not a hard throw. Little back shoulder fade ball, underthrew it again. And this is something about Haarberg is that even if he does throw an accurate football, which doesn't happen very often, it's never in stride. He never throws receivers in stride. And this one, once again, just underthrown. Bullock, that's an impossible catch. He can't come down with that. We've seen that one. Like, again, this has been the story of the film so far where, okay, Haarberg, he thinks he's going to Fidone. Fidone is honestly pretty open, and he rockets it. Fidone is, 6'5", 6'6"? He had no chance to make that play. And you guys are lucky we're not seeing the rushing highlights in this film. This is purely the passing highlights not the passing highlights, but the passing film. Because if we were looking at the rushing highlights, there'd be a lot of fumbles, folks. There would be a lot of fumbles. I want to say he led the country in fumbles from quarterbacks because it was bad. It was bad. That was honestly a pretty good throw. Coleman just dropped that. So another busted play, to say the least. That was the story of the offense last year. Story of the offense. All right, that was Maryland. Not too much there. Of course, Jeff Sims came in that ball game, then Chubba Purdy. All right, so that were the 3 games we're going to look at from 2023. Now let's get into the spring game and see if he improved on a lot of the stuff that was not great from last year. All right, let's get into it, looking over Heinrich Haarberg in his spring game film. Let's see if he made any improvements. Because that's been the big narrative this offseason. We hear that from the coaching staff, that Haarberg is very improved and his progressions are better and he can control his arm strength, but let's see. Actions speak louder than words. Film speaks louder than everything. 2 progressions to get things going, not bad. Good job to stand in that pocket. Again, same thing we saw last year. where you have a guy coming right across the middle, you try to bullet that ball in, and it's not accurate. He can't throw this football for whatever reason. He cannot throw a receiver in stride, and that one should have got picked off. Staying tall in the pocket, a little fade ball, and once again just overthrows it. He can't throw that back shoulder fade either. I believe this was his touchdown. Yep, it was. And a lot of people love to give Heinrich Haarberg a lot of credit for that. Like, oh my gosh, what a great ball. Again, it's a better adjustment. It's a better catch by Ja'Cory Barney. Listen, and again, I'm not trying to hate on Haarberg by any means, but we're going back to this film. He did not throw Ja'Cory Barney in stride. He threw this ball 5 yards short. Ja'Cory Barney understood he underthrew that football, went back to it, and still made a great play. If he threw that in stride, Ja'Cory Barney would have just caught it easily in the end zone, no problem. But it was underthrown. So, again, a lot of people give Haarberg credit for that. That was actually a bad throw. I mean, again, just look at what you're seeing on the film rather than what people are telling you. That's what I try to preach to people. I will say, Haarberg does look a little bit improved in his decision-making. Oh, look at that. A ball in stride. That's Nate Borkature. Man, Borkature is slow. Not a receiving tight end, that's for sure. Darn good blocker, though. By design rollouts. Looking. Nice job to throw it away. Don't try to force something. This was honestly probably Heinrich Haarberg's best rep from the spring game, and it wasn't flashy. Where, okay, by design, he's looking, this is his first progression right here. It's not there. Honestly, he could have thrown this football, but he didn't. That's fine. Second progression down the field was not there. Steps in the pocket, find his third progression, Thomas Fidone. Pretty good job. Once again, nice little, honestly, that's an RPO. Not in stride necessarily, but it was a completion. We'll take it. That's Shaniron Bonner, by the way, man. He's going to be good. This one was just to end things off. Like, we can talk about Heinrich Haarberg improving all we want, but when we see stuff like this, he can't throw that back shoulder fade ball. How many times have we seen in this film reaction where he just underthrows it or he just significantly lofts the ball up in the air and overthrows it? This one was just horrendous. Underthrow. The wide receiver has to make some crazy adjustment. It's impossible to catch. Not sure what he's doing there. All right, guys. That's my film reaction over Heinrich Haarberg. Now let's go into my takes and analysis. What did we just watch, and how does it relate to 2024? Well, that was something to say the least. Let's start it off with my takes. You know, all throughout this summer, my opinion on Heinrich Haarberg has probably been the most scrutinized thing on this channel because people love Heinrich Haarberg, and I understand it. He's a kid coming in from Kearney. He loves Nebraska. He grew up a Husker fan. He would die for this program. And I think Heinrich Haarberg can be an asset on this team. But look at the film, folks. And a lot of people say, well, we won 5 games with Heinrich Haarberg last year. He was not the reason we won those football games. It was the defense. It was the running game. Heinrich Haarberg, time and time again, was the reason we lost games or we were in the mix to lose games. To think, if we started a guy like Chubba Purdy last year, who was honestly our best quarterback on the roster, we would have probably won 6, 7, maybe even 8 of those games. So, listen, Heinrich Haarberg, I do think he's a little bit improved. The progressions did look improved in the spring game, but it's the same stuff. He struggles with that back shoulder fade ball. Man, he cannot throw a wide receiver in stride. A lot of times he's bailing out to the left or right-hand side, trying to find a man. Again, the pocket presence is not great. The accuracy is not great. Oh, we love to say he has great arm strength, but man, it doesn't work because he can't throw the ball more than 30 yards down the field and actually be accurate. So listen, there's going to be people in my comment section who say, Wilson, you're hating on Haarberg. What do you have? You have this vendetta against Heinrich Haarberg. You're wrong. I love Heinrich Haarberg. I love every player in Nebraska. Okay? I want them all to succeed, but we need to look at the film, folks, and we need to discuss the pros and the cons so we can have a real conversation about these guys. These guys are getting paid now. These guys are practically professional athletes. We deserve to have a real and honest conversation about the strength and the weaknesses about everybody on a roster. And the truth is that Heinrich Haarberg is not a Big Ten quarterback. He's a leader. He's a guy who wants the best for this program. I think there's a role for him, maybe in a wildcat position. But if he's in the ballgame for Nebraska, just expect a significant downgrade from what we would get from Dylan Raiola. And I there's too many people who say Heinrich Haarberg should start for the Huskers this year. People are still saying that. I can't believe what I'm hearing. We have a generational quarterback on our hands, and you want to actively put him on the bench. You want to take away his reps when he could possibly be one of the best players to ever play in Lincoln. You want to keep him away from the field and put in a guy who, from what we just saw, has never been good for Nebraska. Listen, I'm hoping Heinrich Haarberg's improved, but the spring game film was okay. Could have been better. And last year's film was horrendous. Listen, when I have a take about a player, specifically a negative take, I like to back it up. Okay, I'm going to back it up with film because actions speak louder than words. And what we just saw, the actions stood up for my words over the last couple months. So listen, I'm rooting for Haarberg. I'm not a hater. I'm rooting for him just as much as I am for anybody else in the team. But man, oh man, guys, I wanted more there. I wanted to see some more good stuff rather than a lot of the poor stuff. And yeah, I mean, there's a reason he threw 7 interceptions last year for the Huskers, led the team in fumbles, I believe the country in fumbles in that quarterback position. So hopefully he can improve. But all right, guys, I just want to know, what are your thoughts coming over from that film review about Heinrich Haarberg? Good, the bad, the ugly. Let me know down below. Hey, if you made this far in the video, shout out to you, man. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, folks, go Big Red, go Matt Rhule, and see you in the next one.